Ladder's burning.
Yeah, yeah. Both.
I have an exciting announcement.
Okay, good, but
Yeah.
still almost there.
Well, we don't have a.
Let me
Oh,
know
so-
when you guys are ready. You're waiting for quorum?
Okay. I think we are, now we're good.
Hey,
Now we are good.
nice to see you.
Who has the exciting announcement, Aurora or Robbie?
Well, maybe Robbie has one too. I
No,
don't know.
not me.
So I'm gonna share the screen with the agenda and you can call it to order.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we're gonna look at the agenda for a second, so. Let's have this.
Oh, Christy's here too.
Yay, so we got Christie.
But where did she go?
Let's have this meeting be called to order, the UNNC environmental meeting for August, it being August 13th. Welcome to everyone here. I can't see the agenda and I only have,
Hang on, I'm just trying to
okay.
get Christy into the room. And
I'm excited about this particular meeting because we have Aurora Corona here to tell us about a program, yay, that she runs through, oh gosh, I can't remember the high school, Lincoln School?
Loyola, your
Oh.
neighbors.
I used to bike by and to go to my job at El Pueblo Historical Monument, so I remember seeing it before they put the screen up against the fence, which I understand. So anyway, it's been really nice to see you and I'm glad we've got a good crowd here. Let's see, so I cannot see that, I do not, would you go ahead and?
oh, sure. This is Laura speaking. So I'll remind everybody in the room of the protocol. We have to say who we are when we're speaking because the transcript simply catches us as UNC president host. So this is Laura speaking on our agenda, which I assume you guys can see better than we can. I did first the welcome call to order, review the agenda, we'll do introductions, then general public comments on any item not on tonight's agenda, and which is within the purview of United Neighborhoods in this committee. 3, an initial discussion about the Byzantine Latino Quarter Business Improvement District's compost pilot program. In what we're thinking of doing is having a larger discussion next month, for a look at the Pacoima Pool Surfaces Payments. God, I can't even talk tonight. Pavements and Streets Pilot Program. We have a little video for the first one and a larger video for this one to look at tonight. And then follow up to our ongoing discussion about neighborhood cleanups, a little bit of a follow-up on the UNNC Master Green Plan, building a list of allies and partner organizations, and we're working with a lot of entities already. Follow up regarding a possible sustainability newsletter, and any new business, old business, possible discussion of possible co-chair of this committee, future agenda items. If we ever get to the end of that long list of agenda items, which I have this feeling not so much. So did you want to do introductions?
I'm sorry, do you have a comment?
Public comments?
Well, I think introductions.
Yeah, let's do introductions really first. My name is Elizabeth Fenner and chair. Yes, Laura has kept me as the chair of this organization for so long because this committee lifted me up and kept me going. I'm really, really very grateful. Thanks. Let's go to you, son.
Secondly, I'm a stakeholder. I live in Jefferson Park.
And I'm Laura Myers, and I'm suddenly realizing our camera is not moving. So I'm gonna introduce myself as I live in Angeles Vista. I'm on the board. I'm the president of UNNC, and I'm gonna go look see what's going on with our camera.
All right. Yes.
Look, that works.
So let's go with Rabia. Let's you're in my upper left hand corner. Go ahead first.
Hi, I'm Rabia. I'm also on the board of UNNC. I'm trying to participate more in the meetings and looking to partner with the other committees. I'm on the Economic Development Committee to try to get more stuff done.
And Aurora,
Oh,
just introducing.
yes, thank you. Aurora Corona. I'm the president of the Friends of the Pico Union Library, and I'm also a board member of the Los Angeles Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance, which is we call LANSCA. And I'm a former Pico Union member from 21 to 25. I did my term. And that's about it. I mean, I have other titles, but I think that's enough for right now. And I'm very excited to be here to be able to share some information about sustainability, which is, I think, what this committee is really interested about. And I'm happy to see all the cleanups, the medium stuff that you want to do. And I have another potential thing for you to do. I'll talk about it later. But thank you. Very happy to be here.
And Christy, so glad you
Hi.
joined. Again,
Yeah,
stop.
yes. Hi, I live on Fourth Avenue. I'm part of this committee. I recently did a small cleanup with Elizabeth. The two of us.
Good.
Yeah, down at the corner of Crenshaw and Adams.
Too bad.
I was
But
wondering why
I'm-
it was so shiny and clean.
I'm available for more of those.
I have a
activities.
cleanup this Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I want to hear about it. Great.
Yeah, Magnolia Avenue. It's a little bit outside of it's in Pico Union, but we're cleaning up around the school area in prep for our 5th annual Bike Safety Camp Day and Earth Day. That's happening on the 29th. You're all invited to come. Laura, did I send you the flyer?
Well, I don't know if, this is Laura speaking, I don't know if you sent me a flyer. The Department of Neighborhood Empowerment included your cleanup in
Oh,
the
yes, yes.
August letter that went to all neighborhood councils that went out yesterday.
Oh,
So-
cool.
Yay.
So,
Yay.
I don't know if it's your personal cleanup, but the cleanup was in there for sure.
So my public comment was tomorrow is Coffee with a Cop. And if you want to support our, senior lead officer, Tiffany Cardenas, she's going to be holding a group of police officers, LAPD at LA La Prime Cafe on 4626 West Adams.
Yep, Hillcrest.
Okay, Hillcrest.
Yep,
So
LA Prime.
LA Prime.
It could be La Prima, I don't actually know. This is Laura speaking, but I do know this. They have great lattes, they have French toast, they have nice eggs. I eat there all the time.
Knows I have ongoing LAPD needs, and it's nice to have cops for friends.
How
It's at between 10 and 12.
So if you actually were gonna get breakfast to go tomorrow, do it before 10, I think. I haven't enough, Laura has, so although I'm about to cough. The Los Angeles Police Museum is having a carnival on Washington Boulevard next week. Between 10th Avenue and Crenshaw. This is good and bad because Washington will be closed starting Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. all the way till Monday morning. So the carnival is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but the move-in with all the
Right.
Ferris wheel and whatever that stuff will be another 2 days. The police museum is itself up in Highland Park. They're doing a lot of fundraising because unfortunately, well, they probably always have to do fundraising, but unfortunately during last year's civil unrest around ICE, for reasons that don't make a clear connection, the museum was vandalized. And but it was up in Highland Park, so I'm not even, I mean, it was more planned than it was emotional, if I'm saying that right. So they need to replace a lot of stuff apparently. As well as have a fun day. So that's my.
Oh, I have a public comment, may I?
Sure.
And this will be aligned with environmental projects. That was one of my good news that I was going to mention. Okay, so the city finally approved my pilot program to adopt a bioswale. And it's official. It is now on the adopt a median application. I'm going to file for the 2 that I have in Pico Union, and you have 5. So, I would suggest that we work on this together, and I can show you. This could be a later thing, maybe on the 10th. I can show you the presentation that I gave Stephen Kang, who is the president of the Board of Commissioners for Public Works. I had to go through him to be able to get this done. And it took about a year, close to a year for this to happen. And I've been working, maybe Laura knows, I've been working on this for probably since 21. When I first started on a cleanup, I noticed these bioswales that were abandoned by the city. So it's an interesting story. And I think that's something that maybe your committee and your neighborhood council would be interesting in listening to this whole thing, how it evolved, and how we now can adopt these bioswales.
This is Laura speaking. Aurora, those are the ones on Venice Boulevard?
Yes, yes.
So I have 2 across the street from each other at Arlington. I don't know where the other ones might be.
Yeah,
I assume it's Arlington and you.
Yes, it's going further down. It's towards the west side of Arlington. You keep going down about 2 blocks down. There's one on the north side. You keep going down. You've got 2 on Arlington. I actually have a list of all the locations and pictures of all of them. And then, believe it or not, this is the city at work at its best, as you guys know. There is one that they did by mistake, and it's not in their books. But it is further down, closer to Normandy on Venice,
A mistake.
Yes, they didn't even know it was there. I took a picture of it and they went out there. Oh, this is not even on the BOE's diagram. So it must have been built by our contractors by mistake. And I go, oh, okay, great. Well, so
Yes, yeah. So the bioswales, Laura speaking again, I think were put in as part of when LADOT did their improvements on Venice Boulevard from Figueroa or wherever to Arlington.
Right.
During the pandemic at some point, and they planted a lot of trees, not all of which survived, and they had put in bioswales almost as an afterthought. I mean, when we had seen the presentations about the project, it didn't have the bioswales. So, and I don't even remember the purpose of the bioswales. You know, the main thing we were engaged in during that period of time was advocating very strongly to move a particular bus stop at Western.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, it was during Eric Garcetti's term. So they were everything was supposed to be completed up to 2019. And that was the deadline. But as you know, city things tend to also drag out. But that was the timeline and the total for the 6 corridors. Because it's not just Venice, I found out it's 6 corridors throughout the entire city. So you've got 6 corridors with all these bioswales that were abandoned. So there's a total of 24 altogether. So, and different neighborhood councils and also council districts, which I try to let them know, but no answer, nobody. Yeah, it's an interesting story. It's interesting.
So we should,
Aurora, yeah, let's agendize that for next meeting.
Yeah.
That's not part of the presentation that you're
Yeah, it's not
going to talk about for you for the.
I'm sorry, I'm getting cut off, and I don't know if it's my internet or yours.
Yeah. Okay, I just said let's make sure to talk about that. Let's put it on the agenda for our next meeting, because the history of it, the identification of those, and what to do about them. Yeah, I think we should all get neighbors out, this committee anyway, definitely, just to look at all of those and see what we're dealing with.
I would love to get all the addresses of all your locations, because I'd love to put that on my map.
Yeah, I mean, I can send you guys my presentation. I don't want to take time on this because I know you've got a full agenda. But if you want to put me on the next one and I can send the committee what I have, you can look it over and then make a decision. If you want me to do a presentation about the bioswales on the September 10th one. That's
Yeah.
going to be up to the committee. I'm very happy to do that.
Moving forward on that. Any other public comment?
No,
Hi,
just
Maureen.
that I love United Neighborhoods. We partnered together. Laura knows this. I don't know if you guys were here last year. We did the firefighter appreciation dinner at St. Sophia. And, I really want to thank you for working with us. And I hope to be able to continue that partnership with my neighbors, United Neighbors.
Okay, and I'd like to say hi to Marius. Thanks for joining us, Marius. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you?
The last project you had was, and maybe you want to announce it, is the flower planting at the Friends of the Library of Washington Irving.
Yes, as well as the presentation we had for the kids about a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. Yeah, lots of fun.
I hope you took photos, or hope somebody took photos.
Somebody did, Christy, I believe it was.
So Chrissy, if you took photos, if you could send us some, because this is Laura speaking again, so we just did our year in review, a very brief presentation at the board, but we realized we did so much stuff in the last, the community's done so much stuff in the last 12 months, but no one's been taking a lot of photos.
I have
So-
some pictures. I also videotaped Marius' entire presentation.
Wow.
It was great. About native plants. He did a fabulous slideshow and telling directed to both kids and adults, but, trying to get the kids excited about native plants too. So he did a great job.
You still have to send that to me.
I forgot to do that. Sorry. Yeah.
And I also want to talk to you, Marius, about your small business. Marius, for some years, was selling native plants at the neighborhood farmers market. And one comment I got recently from running for office was, do you own a business? And so lately I've been thinking, why don't I start a business?
And then Marius is going to tell you how much fun running a business.
Well, I'm a permaculturist. I raise worms for compost, and I've gotten pretty successful at keeping them alive and churning through food scraps. And if I could sell the compost, it's very rich and very clean looking. It's wonderful compost. Then I could call myself a business owner.
Well, Elizabeth, you can also just raise the worms for sale.
Or sell worms.
No, I'm not joking.
We could sell the little worm system. Yeah, let's move on to, because we have a lot to cover in our thing. No, I can't. I have cute. Yes, the Byzantine Latino Quarter pilot compost program presented by introduced, because we're going to cover this.
Well, I'm going to run a little video.
Oh, fantastic.
Is that okay with you, Aurora, if I run?
Oh, no, that's great. That'll give a overview of everything, and I'll let you know where we are with the project.
So give me a moment. What am I? Great. So I've got it. Of course, I always have to figure out what I'm doing, right? Let me share the screen. So let's share the screen again. Yeah, can you guys see a video? Well, not really.
We're launching our compost partnership with Loyola High School, as well as our bid here in Pico Union. We're really excited. We're celebrating the start of a brand new program that is going to allow for vendors and small businesses to bring their food scraps and turn it into compost in a great way.
The goal of today, and why we're here at Loyola High School, where I work, is to actually integrate our community into our wonderful compost and community garden program. We accept food scraps from our neighbors. We use that in our compost program. With our specialized system, courtesy of Windbrandt Farms, we take a year and a half, let those food scraps decompose into some of the best quality, most beautiful compost available.
We're going to be showing how to compost and giving out pails to everyone, and we're hoping that people will be educated and be willing to do that, and then the compost goes in their garden.
Street vendors, they're some of the folks that have the most organic waste. They don't traditionally have trash services either, like a brick and mortar store might have a dumpster behind the back of their store. Street vendors, we traditionally see them dumping their waste in our pedestrian trash cans that we at the BLQ bid manage. So it's really about trying to educate them and give them a space to put some of that excess trash. We're not here to penalize or enforce anything. We really want this to be a community effort.
Having a compost program and having a community garden and opening it up to the broader Pico Union community is essential to just help keep our streets clean.
Street vendors are a vital part of our community, and we've been working with them for such a long time to be good neighbors, to know their rights. They are embedded into this community. The community loves them, and so going up to them, talking to them about how we can take their food scraps, bring it into the high school, turn it into compost, and make it into a beautiful garden.
How was that for an introduction?
Very good.
What I see when I see that is the end product, and when I look, like any producer of a movie looks at a movie and sees how much work it took, right? I just think of all the work, all the money, all the organization that it took to create that. So bravo to you and your group.
Thank you. Thank you. I have to really just a background on why I'm involved with Loyola High School for the last probably 6-7 years, even before I got on the neighborhood council, because my brother went to the school and I knew its background about they seem to be a fortress all the time, never were out in the community. So I actually partnered with one of their directors of their Office of Service and Justice. And we were on the same boat talking about we need to get the students out. We need them to get engaged with the community. They live there. They're part of the community. So that's been a work that we've been doing for quite some time. And now I'm always connected to them. So I knew 3 years ago that they were going to do this composting. And I thought, this is fantastic. They started with a garden. The students got all interested in it. And so I knew this was going to happen. So when the BLQ, because I attend their meetings too, started talking about we need to do something about the organic, all the waste, all the vendors are throwing. We're spending $185,000 a year just for pickup of trash up and down the corridor, the business corridor, which is all the way from Albany on Pico Boulevard, all the way down to Western. So it covers our neighborhood council district and yours, part of yours. So anyways, when I heard that they wanted to do something about it and they were thinking of how can we do a compost thing, I immediately told Stephen, who's on the video, say, Stephen, you must reach out to Loyola. I'll connect you with them because they already have a compost happening. The silos, they've already built it. So what a better way again to connect the students, to connect the school with the community, and there's a giving back to the community, and so doing the canvassing, all of that is an excellent project. And so he had looked at other composting things and they were expensive. He was using a contractor. I think LA, I forget the name. I don't know if it's LA Compost Run, but they gave him a big quote. This is for free. So obviously, they were willing to do it. I have to thank Dr. Rachel Hill. The minute I told her about it, she said, oh, no, yes, let's do it. So we all got involved together. So that's how this whole partnership started. And that's why you see on the pails, Friends of the Pico Union Library are there. And Lonnie, who is part of the bid, I don't know if you're familiar with Lonnie. It's Los Angeles Neighborhood Initiative, and they handle a lot of the bids, and they also try to work with communities. I would suggest, you also, maybe make a connection with them. But anyways, getting back to the project, so that's how we started. And so we got together, had a meeting of how will we do this? And so, yeah, Dr. Hill came up with the compost pails and putting on the logos, and we started discussing to put number them. And today when was it? June 14th, July 14th, we actually went and did a canvassing. It's on Instagram, so you'll see some pictures. I don't know if you are able to pull that up, but there are pictures on Instagram. On the BLQ, I think also has some that show the kids, the students going out, part of the compost team, and myself going out and talking to restaurants, talking to grocery stores, talking to bakeries. And we were able, in 1 hour, we were able to get 12 people to sign up for the compost. And they were given pails. We got their address, so, and there was the language barrier, which I have to be honest with you, Spanish is #1 on the boulevard. I know that there's a difference between your area. We have a lot more restaurants on the east side of Pico Boulevard past Normandy versus the other side. So, but there are still businesses that we can, I think in your side, you could maybe talk to Smart and Final, because they throw maybe a lot of produce out that hasn't been, that's spoiled. Where do they put it? That's an interesting question. Bishop Conity, I think we were also looking at their school to see if they're willing to also try that during lunchtime, because Loyola is doing it at lunch. They put their scraps in there as well. So there's different places along the boulevard. I'm very happy that you expressed an interest to try to help us out. So I will tell you that on the 14th, we went from Normandy to Vermont, and we had about, I want to say like 10 people altogether. 5 did the north side and 5 did the south side. And we walked from all the way down to Vermont. And we did that because we thought, if we're starting off right now, let's just concentrate on this particular park that's closest to Loyola. So right now, the way that we sold it to and pitched it to the people was that, yes, we have an easy drop off in front of the school between 9 to 2 in the afternoon on Mondays. You could drop it off there, but we do want to make it more convenient for them by offering pickup service. And that's what we're kind of looking at right now. How can we get more people interested by offering either the students go out and reach out and talk to the people, hey, is your compost ready? There has to be, some kind of communication and contact with the businesses that we gave to. So we're working that out. And we're also trying to see if we can get CD1, who is Council District 1 is UNNC, and they've been actually, thanks to them, they did this video for us. They put out Channel 35 to come out because they're interested in the vendorish problems on Vermont. I think you guys know that El Salvador Corridor is a problem area, and this will help her. So she's on board to help and support it. And so anyways, what I wanted to say is that the compost, what we did, we'll continue to do, and we're going to go back and talk to the people. So we're asking CD1 to use part of the PICO team. They have a cleanup team, not every day, but also to kind of be intermittent when the BLQ service can't come, because the BLQ has their own cleanup team that operates every other day, 3 days a week. So they go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they pick up the trash that's in the trash bins, and they collect and report graffiti. And that's part of what the money goes through for the businesses. So, but they're trying to see if they can work something out, but with them as well, if they can pick up the bin. So we're trying to work on the exchange program. We were talking today about putting those little tags on the bucket handles, like #1 for whoever signed up on our list. And the order, #1 bucket belongs to Lily's Bakery. #2 bucket belongs to the restaurant Siete Regiones. #3 belongs to the other bakery or the produce store. And then when they come and exchange their buckets, we'll put the little tag back on a new bucket and vice versa. So we're still working on the logistics part of it. And that's what we were having the meeting today of finalizing it. So we can talk more of that on September 10th. Hopefully we will work out the kinks and we'll have more information about that. But yeah, so it's been working. We've had 3 returned buckets. So it's starting off, slow, but we want to continue basically talking directly to the people and having the direct contact to engage with them. How's it doing? How's your compost? Do you need another compost? And let us know if you have any questions, giving them a hotline number so they can call and we know, maybe possibly putting a QR scan that with a reader. So when people return to the security shack where they're being kept, click, and then we know it's been returned by XX a business. And then maybe offering an incentive, like if you compost 25 pails, maybe we with the school and with the bid, they might get, a gift card, some incentive to continue the momentum going, because it seems like the people were very receptive to it. So we just have to, like I said, work out the logistic kinks of the exchange and keeping it orderly and keeping the connection with the people, so that more with the people that took the 12 first bucket. So yeah, I'm very excited to be able to continue the work with the composting. And the school, Loyola, is so good that they're willing to give back some of the soil if people have gardens that are also participating in the program, give them some soil, also give them some vegetables that you saw in the video that are there, fruits, allowing them, the community, to come in and get produce because they're working with the compost project.
The volumes must be really high though. I mean, how is that a year you're gonna store the compost for a year to turn it into compost, and the mixed food must be, I mean, is that a problem because you've got cooked foods, you've got, all sorts of ingredients that normally don't go into a compost? So that sounds like a really fascinating science project.
Yeah, all of the people that have taken the compost are given a sheet of what can go in, what can't, English and Spanish. And we ask them, if you have any questions, contact Loyola about the composting. So Loyola has had composting, I would say, for a year now. I think it's been a year. They have big silos. I think you saw one of them. So we went and did the tour there to see what they have, and they have a large area that they're willing to add more silos to get this going. So I think, well, Dr. Hill will probably be able to give more information on the process and more of the technical part of it. And I think she's super excited about working on it. And when I told them today that I was coming to this meeting and that you were interested in also helping out, they were like, oh my God, that's great. So I told her you were having the another meeting on the 10th, and she's willing to come, and so is Stephen. So you can, and she will give that presentation to you. And I think that's that's a great opportunity for all of us to again work together.
So this is Laura speaking. I think I might want to invite Garden School Foundation. They have a great program here at 24th Street School, right down the street from where we're sitting.
Right.
A cafeteria to compost. And they are actually generating a huge amount of compost that now is beyond what's in. So they too. So I mean, I would like to then hear from Loyola, maybe then they can all trade their own phone numbers, and because they've been doing that for a couple of years, and they've partnered with Food Forward. Anyway, what's the lesson we're all learning is about the partnerships, the collaborations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is Elizabeth, this dovetails really nicely with the city's new project to increase the investment in our green bin and food composting system, and then keep that compost that's generated in the city.
Right.
Because pay to ship it out to Imperial Valley, apparently. Now, the logistics of something like this are almost, overwhelming, like Sun said, that we make
Yeah.
the necessary temperatures in order to compost everything. The oversight of what is included. And like you said, Aurora, getting people to invest in it. Now, asking, giving them incentives just is a great idea. I mean, but the idea of asking people please to do the right thing with their trash, feels it's a little burdensome to me, because I believe most people sort of maybe want an easy and successful thing to do with their trash.
Right. And that was
One-
just an idea that was thrown out, maybe giving them certificates like bronze level, something for their business that's to say that was also something else. So there's where we're bouncing all these ideas to get the engagement that we want. Again, we didn't offer them anything on our first one. It was just like, hey, do you want to help out? Loyola's doing composting, and we just quickly explained it to them, and they were willing to do it. So, just pushing it up a notch. And like I said, it doesn't have to be, it could just be, hey, a certificate from the city for helping us out, helping your community out.
Elizabeth, anybody else have some comments before we move on?
Laura has one comment.
Go ahead.
Apropos to that, it would be nice to have something, right now, all of these, not the street vendors, but everybody else has in their windows, are they A, B, or C for the health permit? Be nice in that same location to have something is pretty, like a gold star or gold seal, saying a proud participant in,
compost, community compost,
some-
something like that.
Correct.
No,
Something
that's a great idea.
that's right on their window, giving them some creds,
Right.
So, and also, to your point about CD1 and having a cleanup team, CD10 also has a team, I forget what they're called, but they're based at the Western and 18th office. So really close. You're not.
Are they called like rapid something? Rapid. I don't know. They all have different names. Yeah, they all have
different names, but there's definitely a guy with a truck who's going around and picking up trash. And one could conceive that his job description could change a little bit to add and picking up green waste separated, right?
Yeah.
And deliver for compost. So anyway.
Wonderful. It's a wonderful program,
Right.
and so in the right direction, and just, and whatever help you need.
No, thank you. I'm excited that, like I said, we'll be able to partner again.
Yeah.
Well, the other partnership on the firefighters, what was it? Appreciation dinner. You said dinner, but it was over 3 nights, 3 dinners, hundreds of people, and it was very rewarding. So and that one we have hundreds of photos as well.
Moving on to Pacoima's cool services. As we all know, it's been warm.
Yes.
It's going to get rainy. It has gotten hot. And out in the valley, it gets warmer and drier and hotter. So they have a cool services pavement program that we can think about for ourselves. So we have a video.
We do have a video. I think we have 2 videos.
My name is Melanie Torres. I am a community organizer with Pacoima Beautiful. I've pretty much lived in Pacoima all my life. We tackle a lot of high temperatures here. There's a lot of buildings, a lot of streets, a lot of businesses that don't necessarily give us a chance to experience cool weather at all. We have parks, but even the parks, the trees are just not enough.
Climate change arguably is the most significant challenge that society is facing. So there's been a lot of important work done to really understand and help mitigate urban heat. But no one has taken a complete community approach to doing this. So we're starting by looking at all of the hard surfaces in this 10 square block community, starting with putting solar reflective pavement coating on all the roads, all the parking lots, on the school playground. And this project and the research associated with it is going to help us understand if we can truly reduce the ambient heat that's happening in this community
The key figure for understanding cooling and the interventions that GAF provides is albedo. Albedo is the measurement of the energy from the sun that's reflected. These solutions help through multi-metal oxides reflecting infrared wavelengths to reduce the heat that's stored within these hardscapes.
What this project represents is how we have been able to integrate art into the conversation and make it a multi-benefit approach. It's not just lightening the color of asphalt, but really turning it into a public amenity that is valued by everyone.
We've already spoken to a mom like a few weeks back where she's felt the difference already just walking her kids to the pool. Like she can feel the difference between the regular asphalt versus the street bond coating.
You want to do the second video? Sounds like, yeah. Bye.
Pacoima is one of the hottest communities in the city of Los Angeles. Multiple factors contribute to the neighborhood experiencing extreme heat during the summer. Temperatures can range up to 95 degrees Fahrenheit and more during consecutive extreme heat days.
Pacoima lacks green spaces to cool neighborhoods and has less than 20% tree coverage.
So why does Pacoima get so hot? One contributing factor is the urban heat island effect, which occurs when buildings, roads, and other infrastructure absorbs the sun's heat.
Higher surface and air temperatures impact residents' health. People with chronic illnesses, respiratory issues, children.
I'm gonna pause it, you guys, just because 5 minutes is really precious during our meeting, and maybe we could forward it to you and you can watch it on your own. The concept is, well, the valley is super hot, and I've lived in the valley, and they do have those large stretches of pavement unrelieved by trees. The question then is, for our footprint, do we have that experience? Do we have that problem? Would you say?
Well, and I'm raising my hand. This is Laura speaking. Yes, I've got a where, and I have at least one where. But I'm just going to say, generally speaking, much of UNNC also has less than 20%, actually closer to 15% tree canopy. And that's good compared to some of our neighboring communities, which are as low as 9%. So it's really low tree canopy. So we do have heat pockets anyway. So some blocks are different than others. One of the projects UNNC is already advocating for is the first mile, last mile, and surrounding in a radius surrounding Exposition and Crenshaw, where the two trains meet. So the first mile, last mile metro project initiative is supposed to be bringing in all kinds of things that would make people more comfortable walking to the train or riding their bikes or using their scooters. We have the Metro Board actually voted to approve many aspects of this back in 2021, but never funded it. So one of the things that we've been looking at UNNC and voted to advocate is taking Exposition Place, which is technically an alley, but it's 50 feet wide between 9th Avenue and Bronson, which is the walkway that a lot of people use to get to the train. And it's just, I think, Sunmin, did you go on our walkabout? It was hot, because I mean, the project is showing trees and shade structures and all kinds of things, but we realized that the implementation of that project, which Metro estimated at almost $8 million, is going to be highly dependent on the cooperation of a lot of businesses who use those spaces for parking. And as near as I can tell, they have put in the parking lines, but the city owns the space, but that's still going to take some time to figure out. Meanwhile, I somehow came across this project, and I realized a very easy, not free, but an easy first step to cooling down that 2-block stretch of alley walkway would be to do something like this, just cover that surface with this material. So I thought, that's why I thought we should take a look at this whole project. It clearly involved, once again, many different partners, including Council District 7, including GAF, a company, including the organization Pacoima Beautiful, including another organization which is actually based on Bixel Street, which I think is downtown, called climateresolve.org, and others to get a project off the ground. But I'm wondering if you all agree, if our beloved, we're calling it Paseo Expo Paseo or Paseo Exposition. We're trying to get the word alley out of our project title, but would this be a good thing to phase one, to try and do as a phase one, while the other $8 million of it is acquired and actually done? So that's my broad thought, but we're not the decision makers. I just wanted to bring this.
Yeah. Thoughts from people? What's your original?
Well, yeah, this is Senmin. I think what attracted me to this topic was the roofing part of it, because beyond just this, I mean, I think it's problematic to put it on the surface of the roads or anything like that, but all the roofs that, because I think Obama's chief scientist back during the Obama era, I think one of the things he advocated was whitening the roofs. And I think I've been seeing,
well, this is the same company.
It's the same company, then that's fantastic, because I would love to put this on my roof. And so, and I think I've seen some, I think maybe even the cafe, I saw some guys working at Cafe Half Day doing some kind of, I should probably ask them if they're doing it, but whitening the roofs.
Yeah, this is Laura speaking. You can paint this kind of coating on a flat roof, but not on a, so if you have a pitched roof.
I have a pitched roof.
Yeah, well, GAF also has, has a shingle for that.
Oh,
they do have cool roofs, but you can't really paint. As far, my understanding is you can definitely lay it on a flat surface. So not just, like a Spanish style flat roof.
I think Christy had, and Rabia, yeah?
I think it's a great idea. Like, I really like the idea of doing that, and it's sort of community oriented. It can be an art project too. So I think we should pursue it in some spaces.
Right. I mean, it doesn't have to be the space I identified.
Oh, and I think it's
yeah, I love it there. I love it anywhere we could do it. I think it's a great idea.
A basketball court on Jefferson, where these guys were playing on a black asphalt. I think it's like a little, I don't know, section. And I was thinking, God, that must be hot for them to be playing there.
Right.
But that would be a perfect surface.
Yeah. Did Maria? I can't tell. Are people raising their hands?
Christy was.
Yeah, it's one person with a comment in the chat, so I just wanted to just acknowledge it. This seems like a good idea. Is there any place we can put it where it will have the most impact, where enough people can walk across it and really feel the difference? Because I understand Exposition Place might not be the best place, considering it's kind of a parking area, and I don't know how many people actually walk across, and you might know that number. But at least people would be able to say, oh, wow, this makes a real difference. We should now push Metro to fund this everywhere else.
Right. Well, the thing about the Exposition Place is, we don't know. I mean, nobody's standing there with a clicker counting people. But do you remember they built the 77 townhomes?
Okay.
And they were built by a company that likes train-oriented residential. So part of their whole marketing thing for the people who bought those condos and townhomes was, and you can walk easily to the train. The only way they could walk easily to the train would be down that Exposition Place. And it's a bunch of architecture firms and design firms and, along there. So it's possible funding could come in partnership with those companies. Because it's the south side is the backyards of people whose homes face Obama Boulevard. They're not walking down that alley to go to the train. They'd be walking down Obama. But people who live on Exposition Place, which is beyond what I just described, the street is from 4th Avenue to 9th Avenue, and then the quote alley begins at 9th. The only way they have to walk to that train would, well, not the only way, but they'd be going out of their way if they walked up to Obama and then back. So we did a walkabout, we meaning about 12.5 people, including the council office and LADOT, et cetera, that started on Jefferson, and we walked west to Crenshaw, then to Exposition, crossed the plaza. We made a circle, and again, it was hot, and much of that area was more exposed to the elements than it ought to be. If you were crossing Expo on Crenshaw or crossing Expo on Degnan, you're standing on a hot platform, for example. So there's just a lot of stuff we noticed when we did that.
It's a great project for this committee, because we can go out into our community, each one of us, and find those basketball courts, and just simply identify those basketball courts and come to the board or to this, whatever who's deciding on where to put this pavement, with a list that we decide on, because we live in our community and we see where people, like anytime, like parks, where not only people walk across it, but are walking on it, staying on it, playing on it. So I think we can use our time, and if you wouldn't mind for me to ask you all to give your feedback in the next meeting, I'll text you to remind you, can you just look for places where it's saturated with sunlight? I'm concerned because we try new things as a culture, as a civilization, we try new things and we learn the hard way. You know, that something was the law of unintended consequences. So my eyes are very sensitive to glare. So I'm interested in whether I'm going to have to go out with sunglasses at all times, especially in a place that has reflective surface. Because sometimes I feel like I need not from preventing glare from above, but preventing glare from below.
Well, that's interesting.
Now, and the second thing is flaking. If it flakes, does it flake? How long will it last? What is the flaking completely biodegradable? Where does it go? What does it do when it goes down the drains?
Well, this is Laura speaking. Those are two really interesting questions. I think the answer to the first question is a field trip to Coima. Right. Well, but I understand, to see if it does reflect up into your eyes. The answer to the second question is for the scientists. I do realize, and Marius and Chrissy, you're aware of this, the little park next to the library, Washington Irving Library.
Yeah.
There's zero shade there. That's a hot little pocket park for kids. And I mean, literally, we're looking at that right now because the farmers market, Wellington Square Farmers Market, is moving to, because I don't know if you know this, or Christy, they're moving by the end of October to the parking on this, Sunday farmers market, to the parking lot at the library. And they're going to put the jazz band apparently into the little park, and then also use a part of 12th Avenue for the farmers market. And I'm like, I don't think you want to put anything into that park. I mean, there's no shade structure, there's no trees. I mean, the band will be not happy because it's just very bare ass to the
every farmer's market I go to, like, there's not normally shade, but they all have like tents and even the band. So maybe they're bringing that stuff.
Right. Well, yeah, but I mean, the point is, I don't know, they're putting the band into the park, but it's not a park with grass. It's a park with.
Let's let that park be a place that we consider also.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As a place that would.
The
other to think about is, and then you, Christy, we've planted a lot of trees, and trees are the answer, right? Because they create shade and cool and carbon sequestration. right? I mean, they're what we need ultimately. So let's not just say that we can pave over and solve a problem. Let's make sure that we can plant trees. And my question then would be, where do trees just need to grow bigger? You know, and are we giving our trees the proper care so that they can grow big and so we can have good shade coverage? Christine.
I don't have the answer to that, although I do know that the trees on our street, 4th Avenue, are growing a lot. Maybe they like the heat. I don't know. Or someone's watering them more because it's been so hot. I have a question about what is the name of the company that does this painting, and what is the product called? I didn't.
Well, GAF was the paint, or let's call it coating. I mean, we're using the word paint because we understand what paint is.
Coating, yeah, coating. Okay.
Right.
And it was GAF.
Yeah.
But I don't know, again, was it their idea or were they approached? In our agenda packet for tonight, we don't need to pull it up, but there's a like 30-page backgrounder file.
Oh, okay.
That includes, you know, a description of this program in some detail.
Because I was going to go try to look up what I could. Yeah.
And then how can this be repeated in other neighborhoods? So there's a section.
Okay.
So I'd like to move on. So let's just say that we're gonna go into our neighborhoods and look for the places where a green coating, not a green coating, yeah, a reflective coating might really help people.
And we're gonna all do our homework and read the backgrounder brochure.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's switch. I'm gonna say, I think I'd like to focus on cleanups and then like a newsletter outreach. And for the record, if actually we've lost Aurora and we've lost Rabia, and that's totally fine. I would request, if you have to leave, just would you interrupt us and say goodbye? I just would love that a little bit more.
Well, they both said it in chat.
In chat. We're not looking at the chat.
We're not looking at chat here.
Just trying to avoid disrupting the flow.
Yeah, I would say don't disrupt, just shout out and say gotta go, bye. So cleanups and a newsletter. So the point is that I would love feedback on, I would like this, I would like ideas for this corner, this block, this park, this thing, would love a little TLC.
Right.
I'd like to do it every month. I'd like to do it on the 3rd Saturday because other places have it on the 2nd Saturday. Mink has it on the 2nd Saturday, and I have a commitment on the 2nd Saturday. We're just talking from 8 to 9, just a little quick get together and go. Comments about a cleanup. I understand that, to me, lots of people in South LA are doing cleanups. I follow on Instagram, right? These, you know, stalwart people. And there's we gotta clean, we gotta clean, we gotta clean. There is inevitably the little video that says, I had this clean. I had it clean, and look at it now. So it's bad again. And the other thing is, we're taking our time for messes we didn't make, you know, providing the city free service to help create to help alleviate a problem, which then comes often right back. So if you're frustrated, if you feel it's germy, I get that. I'd like to hear your words, but also my cleanup is not the answer. To me, the cleanup is connection with community, getting to know businesses, being closer to each other, creating that, and then leaving it sparkling for a day or two. Yeah, that's all. What do you guys think?
You know what Laura thinks.
What does Laura think? It's too early.
Laura thinks, because I keep saying this, that we need to emulate, or not emulate, but know what other people are doing. So I've been receiving lots of emails about other cleanups. So many of them have a physical space part. So the one
What does that mean?
I'm going to tell you, Mink.
Okay.
The Mink one, Mid-City Neighborhood Council, always meets at
the recreation.
Recreation Cafe.
Right.
That's their
Because,
host.
because Nick, the guy who owns Recreation Cafe, was the one who started the cleanups in the first place before he had a cafe. But they meet there, they go where they're going, and they come back there. And for those who have time, they enjoy a cup of coffee or whatever.
Anchor.
And there's an anchor. And it might be a financial anchor, or it might just be a physical anchor.
Yeah.
So Aurora's, they're meeting at Magnolia School or Magnolia the business. There's two different, I'm not sure. One in Studio City has Vitialagos, whatever that is, but it's a restaurant, clearly. You met this guy.
So let's keep moving.
Well,
So
Elizabeth,
they
but I had asked you to come back so that when we get to the board to suggest this, that we have some format that we are.
I talked to Ally of CD10, and she said when we have 6 people and a regular schedule, so we just need a regular 6 people and a regular schedule, or at least that number regularly, she can provide support. She can provide tools.
I think it's a good idea to have a meeting place where you can get something like coffee or
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to say. I know that Alibi has sponsored. I know that just last week, Black Line Coffee, which is on Venice by Western.
Are we gonna
sponsored.
get 6 people at a time?
Well, we're
so
gonna get nobody if we don't have something to get them to.
First, we have to have 6 people. First, we have to have people that can commit before I can get a host. Before I can go to a restaurant and say, can we have a cleanup? They're gonna say, who's gonna come? And I have to be able to say we have people.
Well, maybe people would be more likely to come if they had a place like a restaurant to go to. Maybe that's why so many people go to the Recreation Cafe. What could we pick?
Well, to commit to something that you also don't believe is gonna really make a difference, it's just gonna be like constant cleanup. So that's the problem, is that the cleanups, yes, are good, social network building.
Yeah.
But the rubbish on the street is gonna just be there, and it's somebody else is gonna, like, I walked up and down Washington Boulevard to get to know it, and there was so much garbage everywhere. I was just shocked. And then I was walking up and down Jefferson Boulevard, because that's where I live, and I always drive around there, and I see a big shopping cart full of garbage that's just been dumped, and it's sitting there, and I'm like, just passing by, thinking that's too much and it's gonna just spill over and just float into the street, because it's gonna take a while for anyone to get to it. So it's kind of like and I was thinking, okay, what have other big cities done to address this problem? And in Asia, they've actually taken away all the public garbage cans. They've taken it all away and said, you know what, every individual is responsible for their garbage. So it's kind of like, is that the real long-term goal, is to like basically say, we're gonna take away all this, the public, because every bus stop I went by was full of garbage.
Okay.
Well,
and I was picking up garbage and putting it in the garbage can, and then knowing that the garbage is just gonna pile back down.
Right.
Either animals are gonna go through it or humans are gonna tip over it. So it's like you're asking, you wanna join a futile activity? Right. There's no joy in that.
Marius.
Yeah, I do hear I'm sorry, what is your name? Sunmin. I hear what you were saying. I feel that people are it's a buildup of more personal situation. I feel people are frustrated and angry about the situation in general that's happening in society. And many times what people do is that they kind of release by throwing things or doing things that are minor crimes, as we call them, like throw trash or speed or honk or things of that sort. This case here, we are seeing I'm seeing a large amount of items that are available for sale now that people have that wasn't available 20, 30 years ago. There's a lot of I see wrappers and a lot of things for food that's just everywhere, and it gets all over the place. And one of the things that I'm seeing as well as you is that there are more trash cans than there were some years ago, but they don't seem to be getting picked up as often. I'll go by this as taking the bus and other types of public transit. I'll see trash cans just overflowing. I'm thinking to myself, wow, how does this can get so full so fast? But you stand there for 5 minutes, you'll see about 10, 12 people walk by the trash can and just throw trash in there just continuously. And so this is a case here where sanitation has to be pressed upon along with getting together whoever's involved with that space to say, look, you need trash cans that are universal, because I think New York is doing that. You have universal trash cans that a truck comes by, picks up, dumps it, and keeps moving. I think most of these trash cans, unfortunately, are ones that somebody has to get out, pick them up, and throw them out, or somebody has to come and put a liner in and do that. And if you have people to do that, that's great. But if you don't have enough people doing that often enough, the trash cans start to overfill. The other thing, my last thing, is that there's not as much pride in the city as there used to be. If you don't have pride and love of your city, you're going to trash it. And I don't hear a lot of people speak about that anymore. People say, oh, LA, it's tough and it's care, I don't care anymore and those kind of stuff. I don't hear that same amount of pride as I used to. So if you don't have pride in where you live, you're going to just trash it because you don't care. You think nobody else cares. My friends don't care. And that's my eco space. That's my space. And if they don't care, I don't care. So now it creates a waterfall where everybody just begins to say, well, it's okay. You just throw a little trash here. Who cares? So it's a couple levels of things here that need to be done in order to kind of get this back to where people would not do that. Because you're right. I see other cities. I see other cities on videos. They look clean. I mean, how come theirs are clean but mine's not? So it's just kind of one of those things that we have to chip away at piece by piece to get to it. And once we do, we'll start to see results. But it's going to take time. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the movie in the park Tuesday night at Leslie Shaw. And I don't know if you noticed, Elizabeth, when you were offloading stuff from your car, but I brought the food and, the snacks and the waters. So I had to make multiple trips to and from my car. That street is filthy. To get into the back of my car, I had to just step. I couldn't avoid stepping on trash in the street by my car. But it occurs to me that another issue is that the city does not have street cleaning on the main corridors, on Washington, on Jefferson or Pico. It does not do weekly or bi-weekly street cleaning. And that might need to just change, because it's disgusting right by the park.
Did they ever do street cleaning on the main thoroughfare?
No, I don't think so. Because there's no signs that say there are no signs that say
there all the time.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, and I think the businesses would object if during business hours there was no parking. So I think the creative solution would be to have no parking at from 2 to 5 in the morning once a week, and the city has to have its crew working at cleaning streets at that hour, which of course I'm sure we don't have the money for, but at least it would be a solution that the business owners would not find objectionable, because it doesn't interrupt their thing. Anyway,
Elizabeth and Marius, I'm with you on the idea of having pride in the city. Now, it's not going to come from the top saying you all have to have pride in the city.
Right.
It has to come from below. I do think like a media or a project from the city, with including public service announcements, including signs, say, that we live in a beautiful city.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. I mean, when I was walking here and I looked up and the sun was setting to make those palm trees up glow. They glowed, that orange against a blue sky. And the trees down the street were beautiful, right down here by the South Seas house. So, but what can we do to create that? We all want it to look nice, and we enjoy it when we can see something. It doesn't rain here. So
Right.
The other day, it poured the other day.
Well, I mean, I go hiking up the Baldwin Hills, the stairs, and there's a couple of food trucks there, and like the streets are just filthy of cups and plastic little ramekins and napkins and all along the street, along the
Well,
Baldwin.
they should have to pick it up, seems to me, businesses.
That our society is like, it's like.
I asked Nick Spano of Recreation whether he suggested holding businesses accountable for the front of their business. And he said, without a pause, he said, no, don't do that. Don't do that to small businesses because they're already struggling.
I don't know. It's not that much, really, if you do it a little bit at a time.
But if
every day. I mean, yeah, I know you said that they couldn't hire somebody to do it, but it wouldn't take that long to do 10 minutes.
I agree.
Clean it up.
And then as
Your
part
litter.
of it, that to say, go to your local store. It's in your neighborhood. Go visit them.
Or say to customers, please don't litter. We're selling you this coffee, we're selling you a styrofoam cup, please put it in the trash bin. Please do whatever, but then the trash bin has to be cleaned up. But I think they could say that, or we could have signs in all those restaurants. Please don't dump your, food containers.
So I think we can ask them to take away some of the trash bins. We can ask them to increase coverage. We can ask LA to increase the times that they pick it up. We can ask for universal trash cans that are easy to blow it up onto the cars. These are all things we can do.
We can ask them to clean the streets.
We can ask them to clean the streets. Thank you.
I think schools could do programming on it too. Like the schools have those gardens and, I guess you can't force kids to go out and clean up their neighborhoods because of health and safety concerns, but you could do programming about it, maybe.
Well, the do not litter programming that we all, I mean, when I was a kid, there was definitely Lady Bird Johnson. Wasn't that her project?
Was it? I don't know.
It was
Beautify America.
Yeah, but part of Beautify America was don't litter.
Yeah.
I think there was even a mascot.
That's true. So I don't see why the schools can't do more of that too, again.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that feedback, and that gives me something to go on. I will go and privately clean.
Well, I'm just saying some research would be good because we'd like to know when our local cleanups are, but also, I mean, maybe it's just a grid. Laura's drawing a grid with her fingers, but maybe a local business sponsor, yes or no. I mean, in other words, list of cleanups. And I was trying to tell you, the fella you met and I met at the filming, who was the volunteer from the regional library on Western. Yeah. He lives in that neighborhood, 39th and Western. He also is doing a monthly cleanup, and I didn't catch his name, but yes. And they're meeting with South LA Cafe.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
No,
that's a good idea.
one on Western.
Okay.
Western and Browning, I think. But the point is, he just decided he's gonna volunteer in his community, and he's doing monthly cleanup, and he's also friends of the library.
Yes. So in South LA Cafe. Fantastic.
Right. Well, I don't know if the South LA Cafe has anything other than, you can sit here.
Right.
I mean, that's all you.
But that's good to have a meeting place, I think.
Yeah.
Like that.
And a place that you circle back to, that you can have a cup of coffee if you want, or you can leave because you're exhausted and the day has to get.
Right. And I think, little bits like an hour at the most, because, like when you go to clean your whole garage project, it's easier to do it in little, only half an hour or an hour at a time.
So Marius introduced me to Cafe 5, and I like Cafe 5. That's in our footprint.
Yeah.
South LA Cafe on Jefferson.
Where is that Cafe 5? What is that?
that like Cimarron?
It's
It's like-
between Cimarron and Arlington.
Oh,
It's closer to Cimarron. Just make a
it is?
right here down
Wow.
Cimarron. You'll see it.
There is no
Well,
park.
it's right across the street from the Trinity Church.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then there's one right by you,
Half day, I think.
half day, yeah.
That,
And
that place is clean though. They keep that place very clean.
yeah, no, they're very clean,
They're very
but they're made, I don't know. I mean,
That
it's,
area is getting very clean now.
I did see, because that's where we did our walk around and
Yeah.
it was really very clean. He was
Yeah.
cleaning it.
Cafe 5 and Pottery and all the
They're doing-
businesses
Are doing their own
and the
cleanup.
schools and everybody else is really that area.
Yeah.
But my map is almost live and I would love to like be able to share it so people could just, because everything's happening and you don't know where it's happening. So if you could just pin it and then say, this is, you know.
So the little neighborhood that Sunmin and I were just mentioning is like 12th Ave and Jefferson.
Yes, but the Cafe 5, I think that area had a huge cleanup on Arlington that there's several vacant lots with lots of problems near the burger joint, right?
Right.
So I think CD10 just went through with LAPD.
Yes, they did.
and
31st and
really
Western,
making an
yes.
effort to that, but that's an accumulation of a lot of garbage there.
Right, but Laura speaking, I also noticed, now that everything else, now you don't have to look at all the other crap. I looked at the back of the Burger Palace where it hits the alley.
Yes.
And there's a really, really dead palm tree with really dead fronds in the electric wires. And it's like, oh my God, that is a fire waiting to happen, because it caught my eye because there was nothing else to look at. So, you know, if I guess I better tell Ally about that, but yeah, CD10 is doing some cleanups. Kristen Riddick is doing monthly cleanups at 30th and Arlington, so I don't know if they're going down to Jefferson in the park or not. I guess we could ask them. But I'm just saying, it just feels like we need something routine.
Maybe identifying block captains, you know, throughout all of the UNNC footprint to find the people who are, you know, like block captains.
Yeah, and Arlington Heights is the one bereft of any. Fortunately,
But is Arlington Heights nice?
maybe in some sections nicer than that filthy pig on Jefferson where I was standing the other day.
Well, Washington Boulevard really needed it. I was like really kind of
Yeah.
surprised, but there were also little pockets that I was very surprised. There's a auto shop where all of a sudden I was walking by and there were like 12 people, students with instruments like brass band. They were practicing, and I thought,
On Washington?
On Washington. I walked by and they were all sitting there facing the street and they were all playing, they all had their brass
Wow.
instruments.
Was that around like Fifth Avenue?
I'm not really sure.
But
I-
there is a music
Yeah,
school
I was very
between
intrigued by
Sixth
that.
and Fifth, I think.
Nice discovery.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise it's,
We should hear music tomorrow.
yeah.
It's wonderful.
So, okay.
Well, I'm gonna call it, there's enough we've covered enough to be enough. I took an exam today for a job. And it was
You
a
want this recorded?
2-hour exam. I just wanna let you know that, wow, you know, like that was my effort. I'm gonna focus on some of this stuff and so that we can make progress. And I'm really, really appreciative of your presence.
And we are gonna have, we did invite, as you could probably tell from what Aurora was saying, that for September 10 to have a bigger presentation on the food vendors and the composting.
Yeah.
So building the list of allies and partner organizations for greater effectiveness. It's wonderful.
Oh, great.
Number 7.
Yeah, we didn't cover it this year, but it's growing, right? We took cover.
Well, we're gonna add climate, it's all.org to the
Right,
list.
performance
Yes.
cold streets.
And Caesar's gonna, so.
Okay.
And yeah.
Any final comments
And-
before we?
No, we're gonna read more about the GAF reflective coating and locate places. Yes.
Right. And last but not least, because we're skipping the whole update on our master green plan, but Caesar Garcia, what's his last name? Anyway, Caesar, our erstwhile head of our master green plan project and foolish enough to also take on the chairpersonship of our Mobility and Transportation Committee and our Recreation and Parks Committee till we burn him out. Anyway, the other thing he's been doing is reaching out to a lot of these organizations, and we are working with other people. It'll be on his agenda next week so that we're stopping this secret working with other people, make it transparent. But we are trying to pull together a TCC, which is Transformative Climate Communities grant application, which is due at the end of September, to see if we can get a planning grant to have safer streets, less heat. I mean, it's a TCC grant. So that'll be on the agenda a week from today. And I just wanted to let you know, because all of this collaboration will have an important factor in that, because UNNC itself cannot apply for it. And it, you know, it's a city entity, or a like the land trust has to receive it. So anyway. Anything?
All right, anything else? Any other comments? I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your comments. I really appreciate you coming, bringing your honesty, because I think that's where our energy gets rebuilt. By speaking our truth, talking about our experience in life in our neighborhoods, so that we can work together to make things better. Anything final? Marius, anything final?
That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Right.
One kept wanting to stay. I hope you actually pass.